Hi guys, today we're fixing the 4 things Meta really should have sorted out before the Quest 3 and the Quest 3S ever left the factory. Because the headsets themselves are great, but the comfort, the controllers, the battery situation and the day-to-day usability, that part still needs some help. So in this video, I'm showing you the 4 mods you should make first. Not the fancy ones, not the expensive ones, just the ones that instantly make the headset easier, more comfortable and more enjoyable to use every single day. So let's get to it. The first mod I tell every Quest 3 user to make is the Headstrap, and it's not because I'm trying to upsell anything, it's because the stock strap genuinely holds the headset back. It's this flimsy elastic suggestion of a strap that never really decides where the headset should sit. You tighten it, the headset still droops. You loosen it and it wobbles like crazy. And if you've got long hair, it loves to grab a few strands every time you pull it into place. It puts this odd band of pressure across the back of your head and somehow still manages to push the front of the headset into your cheeks. It works, but only in the same way as a cardboard folding chair works. The moment you swap it for a proper head strap, the whole headset changes personality. Suddenly, the lenses stay exactly where they're supposed to, the image stops drifting every time you turn your head, and that constant cheek pressure, it's mostly gone. It's like the Quest finally decides to behave, like it becomes the headset you thought you were buying in the first place. Now, there are a lot of options out there, and the good news is most of them are genuinely solid. Meta's own Elite strap with battery is the premium one. Great build quality, great balance, but at $129.99, it's the priciest by a mile. Then you've got the Bobo VR S3 Pro. This brings in a hot swap battery system and active cooling for around $89.99. Kiwi's K4 Boost sits in the same bracket, a comfortable rigid strap with a built-in battery, usually around £70 to £80. But the sweet spot for me has been the A3 Max. It's not perfect, the adjuster feels a little bit agricultural, and it definitely doesn't fit smaller heads well. But once it's on, it's rock solid, and the battery life is simply ridiculous. I've had multi-hour sessions where the initial battery was still full when I took the headset off. This even manages to balance out the Quest 3S, which has even more technology fitted further away from the front of your face, so a counterbalance helps even more. And at £50, it's hard to argue with the value. And if you don't care about charging at all, you can go even cheaper. Kiwi's K4 Flex is one of the best non-battery straps out there. Great fit, great comfort, and usually under £30. And honestly, there are lots of no-name Chinese straps on Amazon for 15 to 20 quid that will do a perfectly reasonable job. They're not fancy, but they're still miles better than the stock strap, and they get the job done. This is the mod that makes the Quest feel like a device you want to use, not something that you tolerate. It's the foundation everything else sits on. The Quest 3 controllers are perfectly serviceable. They track well, they're comfortable, and they're familiar. But every time I pick them up, I can't help thinking, why didn't Meta fix the obvious quality of life stuff? These things chew through AA batteries like they're on commission. And getting the battery out is like trying to open a tin of paint with your fingernails. It's 2026. We shouldn't be doing this. So the first controller mod I recommend is simple. Make them rechargeable. There are 2 ways we can do this. The first is the 3D printed route, a little spacer that disconnects the battery when the controller is idle, so it stops draining itself overnight. It works, but it doesn't solve the real problem, actually getting the battery out without feeling like you're going to snap the battery door off trying to use that as a pry tool. The second option is the one that actually fixes the experience, and that's by avoiding removing the batteries altogether by using a rechargeable battery mod. If you're using the stock controllers with the stock battery doors, the Dobe charging pack is the cleanest solution I've found. It replaces the battery door with a USB-C rechargeable door that has a built-in battery. No fiddling, no prying, no AA batteries rolling around your desk. It just becomes part of the controller. You'd never know it was a mod. But if you're planning to upgrade the straps, and you should, that's where things get tricky. Most of the good controller straps replace the battery door entirely, which means the Dobe mod won't fit. In that case, the best option is to grab USB rechargeable AA batteries. They slot in like normal AAs, they charge over USB-C, and they let you keep whatever strap system you want without compromise. This is one of those upgrades that doesn't feel exciting, but it quietly fixes a daily annoyance you didn't know was draining your patience. Once you go rechargeable, you never go back. The second controller upgrade, and honestly one of my favourites, is adding a proper strap system. The Quest 3 controller works fine out of the box, but they're missing that one feature that completely changes how you use them: hands-free stability. With the stock straps, you're basically death gripping the controllers the entire time. Long sessions, your hands feel it. Fast games, you feel it. Anything involving throwing, you really notice. That's why I always recommend the Kiwi Design Controller Grips Protector. These things turn the Quest controller into something much closer to Valve index knuckles. You tighten the straps around the back of your hand, and suddenly the controller stays there. You can open your hand, relax the grip, gesture naturally, and the controller doesn't go anywhere. It's a massive comfort upgrade, especially for longer sessions or games where you're constantly grabbing and releasing objects. They're also well built, good materials, good fit, and they don't feel like the old rubber sleeve era of VR accessories. They're modern, they're comfortable, and they do exactly what they're supposed to do. They usually come in around $30, and honestly, they're worth every penny. But they do have one weakness, and it's not the straps themselves, it's the battery door. Because these grips replace the battery door entirely, they're not compatible with most rechargeable battery mods. If you want these straps and rechargeable power, you need those USB charging AA batteries I mentioned earlier. It's the only combo that plays nicely together. Still, once you've used these straps, it's hard to go back. They make the controller feel like an extension of your hand instead of something you're constantly holding on to. For comfort, immersion, and just general sanity, these are one of the first upgrades I reach for. Lastly, we come to the facial interface. The stock facial interface works, but it's not exactly comfortable. The foam gets sweaty, the airflow is poor, and after long sessions, you're left with that deep VR face imprint that takes half an hour to fade. It's one of the easiest parts of the headset to improve, and the difference is immediate. On my Quest 3, I've been using the AMVR FC1 for a long time. It's older now, but it still beats the stock interface in every way. Better padding, better airflow, and a more secure fit. AMVR's newer designs, like the FC4A, take it even further. You get a quick adjust knob for eye relief, upgraded foam that doesn't feel like a budget sofa cushion, and vents that actually help with heat and fog during longer sessions. And if you wear glasses, this is where the upgrade really pays off. The extra depth and adjustability mean your frames aren't constantly tapping the lenses, and you're not holding your breath every time you put the headset on. It gives you the space you need without sacrificing clarity or comfort. Price-wise, a good facial interface isn't cheap. Expect to spend around £20 to £30, which usually works out about the same $20 to $30 or 25 to 35 euros. But for something that touches your face every second you're in VR, it's money well spent. Just be aware of compatibility. Most AMVR interfaces don't fit the Quest 3S. The faceplate shape is different and a lot of older accessories simply won't clip on. So if you're on a 3S, you need to look for interfaces made specifically for it. A solid option is the Kiwi Design Q4 facial interface. It's built for the 3S, it improves airflow, the padding is more comfortable, and it helps keep the lenses clear during longer sessions. It's a simple swap and makes the headset feel better the moment you put it on. A good facial interface doesn't look like a big upgrade on paper, but in practice it's one of the most important comfort mods you can make. Better airflow, better hygiene, better fit, and for glasses wearers, actual room to breathe. So those are the 4 upgrades that actually make a difference. Not the flashy stuff, not the maybe one day accessories like an omnidirectional treadmill, just the practical fixes that make the Quest 3 and 3S more comfortable, easier to use, and far less annoying day to day. A better head strap limits the wobble and finally makes the headset sit where it's supposed to. Rechargeable batteries fix the controller headache Meta left us with. Proper straps let you relax your hands instead of clamping down for dear life. And a good facial interface keeps the sweat, heat, and fog under control while giving glasses wearers the space they need. None of these upgrades are expensive individually, though they do add up when combined. But together, they completely change how the headset feels. They turn the Quest into something you can wear for hours, something you can pick up without thinking about, and something that just works the way it should have from the start. If you've just bought a Quest 3 or indeed Quest 3S, or you're trying to make yours more comfortable, start with these. They're the biggest quality of life improvements you can make. Now I hope you've enjoyed this look through on some accessories that really changed the game for the Quest 3. If you have, don't forget to give this video a like so other people can enjoy this content. If you like what I'm doing on the channel and love this direction I'm taking, then don't forget to subscribe to see more of my stuff. Anyway, that's it from me for today. So goodbye guys, and see you next time. Bye bye.